Well, to Italy now, where we're getting the clearest picture yet of the aftermath of Sunday's elections. This founding member of the EU has now tilted to the right with the support of Eurosceptic anti-immigrant voters. Ramy Inocencio joining us now with the latest. And Ramy, we had former Prime Minister Matteo Renzi stepping down as the defeated Democrats leader, right?
Yeah, that's right. And, you know, when you take a look at the election results, they only got about 23%, a little bit less than 23% of the total result. And this is actually the worst showing for the center-left coalition in history. So it really is no surprise that Matteo Renzi is saying, you know what, I'm out. Go ahead and take a listen to what he actually had to say.
It is obvious as a consequence of this result that I will leave the leadership of the Democratic Party as per the statute.
So Renzi is out, but the big question here is who is in. The thing is, no one knows, and we have a few weeks at least of horse trading. Let me get you up to speed on where we are in terms of the vote shares that have come out so far. So you can see on your screen there, 37% is a center-right coalition, clearly shifting across the aisle there. The five-star movement, the Eurosceptic and populist movement is getting 33%, and then the center-left coalition that I told you about just now, Matteo Renzi and his group, 23% there. They're the parties in purple. You think that the center-right coalition could hold something together, but they actually haven't hit a threshold. Flip to the next pie chart, because I want to explain why here. That 37% is actually made up of everything on the right-hand side of your screen that's not yellow here. The five-star movement is one thing, but that on a party basis is actually taking up the biggest slice in terms of parties here. So the leaders of both parties are actually saying, you know what, we think that we can hold a coalition together, but now they're both trying to do the same. And over the next few months, the next few weeks, they're going to try to see who comes out on top.
Yeah, and given this political uncertainty, I mean, we take a look at the euro, Ramy, and it really hasn't moved much since that election. What does that imply? Yeah,
well, a lot of people are asking, will this catalyze the pullout of Italy from the euro? Of course, we are too early to say this, but it really is interesting to see in the terminals how this actually is played out in at least the run-up to these elections. Hop into the Bloomberg, #BTV 4850, and I want to show you the volatility of the euro-USD cross. Now, we see Brexit volatility up by 25 here, and then we see the French elections here last year in April. Do you see anything close resembling that here in terms of volatility for the euro? No, not really. It hit less than a 10 here just when those election results were expected. So we're seeing that at least people are thinking, you know what, this was already priced in. Heading to my next Bloomberg terminal chart, something similar, #BTV 76. Now, the two-week risk reversal, or back to the two-week average here, really the hedging is not as bad as when we saw back in April for the French elections there, which you can see in your purple dot right here. And finally, looking at commodities, #BTV 3205. If you are confident that this is just a blip, you know, big if here, I suppose, Yvonne, but the Italian equities here are actually at their lowest, the least expensive relative to the main indexes. The yellow line here is the DAX, the blue here is a stock 600. So as we look ahead, Yvonne, to the next few weeks, we are, of course, facing Mr. Macron and Ms. Merkel, thinking, what are we to do with Italy? One thing is they try to coalesce around a stronger Eurozone. Now they have to figure out, you know, what's going to happen with Italy. They have to say 2 weeks, maybe until March 23rd when Parliament convenes. But then even on our latest Bloomberg News reporting, Yvonne, we're saying that maybe Sergio Mattarella, the president, could wait as much as 3 months until he sees support in both houses of Parliament for some kind of coalition, possibly a grand coalition that we're seeing coming out of Germany.